And good evening, hockey fans, and welcome back to the Neutral Zone. Tonight, Coyotes and gambling, the President's Cup trophy, and Beast Mode and the Kraken. All that and more tonight on the Neutral Zone. Let's go. Good evening and welcome into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zachary Puplis. Welcome on in. Buckle up. Excited to have all you hockey fans back. Adam Karnick is off tonight. He will be back next week. So I'm flying solo. Watch out. Tonight, we got lots to get into. We'll take a trip around the NHL, see what the scores around the league are tonight. And we got some fun stories about the Arizona Coyotes possibly legalizing gambling for their new stadium. We shall see. What else? We're going to talk about the President's Cup trophy and see who's in the lead for that right now. Looks like the Avs and the Panthers are gunning for it, have the top two spots tied for it. And we're going to talk some more about the Kraken, the NHL's latest expansion team, most new and youngest team there is out there in the NHL, and some possible celebrity ownership. So, yes, we will get into that. So, buckle up. But first, as always, we've got some housekeeping to attend to. We want to thank our sponsors. The Southern California Warriors, semi-pro football team. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations. Players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players all have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may just get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. You can find them on social media on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, Instagram at Southern California _Warriors, or on Facebook, Southern California Warriors. You can also find us on social media, the channel IE Sports Radio on Twitter at IE Sports Radio, Instagram at IE Sports Radio, or on Facebook, IE Sports Radio. You can also follow the channel It is at IESR _ neutral zone, I believe. Or you can follow me at the Publis. A little bit more about ourselves here at IE Sports Radio. For the last 7.5 years, we've been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. All the while, we've continued to be by the fans and for the fans. And with your help, we're ready to take the next step. When you go to our website, iesportsradio.com, you'll see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. The first one starting at just $5 a month. This donation gets you shout-outs on all 32 of our shows. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. There we go. Thank you all very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. We also have a fan of the month. It is Marcy _ Vargas 88, Packer fan from Mexico. And speaking of football, we are now, let's see here. I just heard on the radio that it was 7 or 8 days till the NFL draft. So you still have time for this. The 2022 NFL draft is right around the corner, 7 to 8 days away, like I said. IE Sports Radio is excited to announce its 3rd annual Mock Draft Challenge. The rules are simple. Predict all 32 first-round picks. No trades, no modifications, no tricks. The participant who has the best mock draft will receive a shout-out on all of our shows and their choice of an IE Sports Radio hat or shirt. For more information or to submit your mock, please reach out to Mike Pat at letswine _IESR. Good luck. All right, with the business out of the way, let's get into some hockey. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here, last couple games of the season. Tonight we've got 4 games going on. Oilers and Stars. Oilers are up 2-0 with 10:32 to go in the first. And then later on tonight, Blackhawks and Coyotes, 10 p.m. Eastern. Capitals and Golden Knights, 10 p.m. Eastern. And Avalanche and Kraken, 10 p.m. Eastern. So all kicking off in the next, in about an hour, a little less than an hour. It seems like we have 3 games. Well, there's 4 games, but 3 games that have yet to kick off. Anyways. And two of the teams in the first game, the teams in the first game are of equal caliber. Blackhawks and Coyotes. Blackhawks sit at 25, 40, and 11 on the season. Coyotes sit at 22, 49, and 5 on the season. So they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're playing for pride at this point. And maybe getting some young guys some good experience. Then you've got the Capitals and Golden Knights, both fighting for playoff positioning. Capitals are sitting at 43, 23, and 10. Golden Knights are sitting at 41, 31, and 5. And then finally, you've got the best and the worst in the West. As we've said all season, the Kraken have not had the start that the Vegas Golden Knights did, that's for sure. They've been sitting at the bottom of the Pacific. Again, where you'd expect to find a Kraken. An Avalanche, they're, at the top of the mountain. 55, 15, and 6. Kraken are 25, 44, and 6. So one since the beginning of the year has been the front runner for the Stanley Cup. And the other one, we had no past as prologue, to look at them and see what kind of performance they'd put on this year. So with no past track record to look at, we had no idea how they were going to do. So, but it seems all the all the general managers learned their lesson from the Vegas expansion draft and didn't fall for it this time with the Kraken. So they clearly have not. I don't know. They're maybe they've definitely underachieved, I guess. If you compare it to Vegas, but if you compare it to a typical expansion franchise like the Wild or Columbus, the Blue Jackets, it's probably a more average experience of an expansion team's first year, inaugural season, So, yeah. Looking at the standings going into today, in the Atlantic, Florida has clinched, Toronto has clinched, Tampa Bay, Boston. So top 4 teams right there in the Atlantic. The rest of them are all eliminated, including my Detroit Red Wings. One of these days we'll start another 26-year-long playoff streak. We'll get there. Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, we got a good core to build around. So there's your top 4 in the Atlantic: Florida, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Boston. Your top 4 in your Metropolitan: Carolina, the Rangers, Pittsburgh, and Washington. Okay, so just kidding. Washington's already clinched a playoff spot. But you can always improve your seeding. Western Conference, Central, you've got Colorado, you've got Minnesota and St. Louis that have clinched, with Nashville and Dallas and Winnipeg still alive. In the Pacific, you got Calgary that is clinched, with Edmonton, LA, Vegas, and Vancouver all still alive. So lots to still determine. Not so much in the East. That's all squared away. Just have to figure out who's going to be seated where. But in the West, we've still got a couple different spots open up. We still got 4 slots open. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams alive fighting or vying for those 4 spots. So that's really going to be where the action is going to be these next couple, 2 weeks till the end of the season, is to see who gets those last couple slots, last couple playoff berths in the Western Conference. In terms of the President's Trophy, President's Cup, you've got Florida with 116 points, and Colorado with 116 points. So they're both tied for the highest number of points this year. So we shall see who's going to win that one. Hang on. Colorado, it says they've clinched the best record in the conference. But is it the best record in the league? Well, clearly it's the best one in the conference. But so, I guess the President's Trophy is still up for grabs at this point, from what I'm seeing. Okay, so it is now the end of the first in the Oilers and Stars game, and Oilers are still up 2-1. We will catch back up with the scores later, but in the meantime, have a couple different pieces of news here to give you guys. So the Coyotes, they're in their last, let's see here. Yep, their last season at the Gila River Casino Stadium. They're going to be moving into the same building that Arizona State University's hockey team plays in next year. This is just a temporary home, supposedly, until they get their funding and figure out where they want to put a new arena and etc. Or if they want to move to Quebec City, who knows? We'll see. So here goes. Arizona Coyotes want a new state law that legalizes sports betting changed to allow them to keep running their mobile sports gambling operation when they move from Glendale to Arizona State University's hockey arena next season. So sounds like they already have legalized sports gambling in Arizona, but there's maybe different stipulations that need to be changed for them to keep their business going as normal when they move into this new arena. But the Arizona Indian Gaming Association and multiple Native American tribes opposed the last-minute measure approved by the Arizona Senate's Appropriations Committee on Tuesday. This is from March 29th. They argue that the 2021 law that legalized sports betting was part of a complex deal they negotiated with Governor Doug Ducey that updated the Tribal Gaming Compact. Having worked at a tribal casino for the last 10 years, I'm very familiar with tribal gaming compacts and such. And the power that, tribal gaming and tribal casinos, use to lobby the state in order to not bring in other forms of gambling that could hurt their business. So the Coyotes say the change is needed because Arizona State's arena only holds 5,000 people, and the law that allowed professional sports teams to run retail sports books and mobile gaming operations requires facilities to seat at least 10,000. There you go. There's the stipulation. The Coyotes plan to use the university's arena for 3 years while the teams develop a new $1.7 billion project, including restaurants, shops, and apartments, and a new hockey arena on a 40-acre site in Tempe. Just hearing that sounds very much like the downtown Detroit project for the Red Wings, Little Caesars Arena, all that. You got retail, you got the sports, arena, plus you got restaurants and apartments all in the same complex. And I see more and more of these popping up. I think that's just super cool that they're able to have all this in one. Coyotes plan to use the university's arena. Oh, sorry, already read that. Coyotes don't plan to open a retail operation at Arizona State, but to just keep running their mobile gaming operations. So they just want to keep things status quo, basically, but they can't do it unless this law gets changed. According to Coyotes' Andrew Diss, who testified for the proposal, he said there is a question as to whether a change in the law is needed to continue to operate their online gaming operations, but said they've received contradictory answers. We went to mom and she said this, and we went to dad and he said that. What do we do? When you ask 10 different attorneys the same question, you get 10 different answers, Diss said. That does not give us a sense of comfort that we're going to be able to maintain our online gaming presence if we move to a facility with less than 10,000 people, that fits less than 10,000 people. That is what this comes down to. An attorney who represents the Arizona Indian Gaming Association said a law that was just passed last year should not be changed just because the Coyotes found themselves needing a new arena. He said the updated compact that waived tribes' exclusive right to operate gambling in Arizona. Oh, there you go. That's the big issue. Before, it sounds like only the tribal casinos had their hands in the cookie jar. now it's allowing everybody to get in there. FanDuel and DraftKings and Rivers Casino and blah 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 Casino and Caesars and Golden Nugget and everybody. He said the updated compact that waived tribes' exclusive right to operate gaming in Arizona was dependent on limiting when, where, and how sports teams ran their operations. That was a compromise by the tribes and as well as the professional leagues and teams, and to go back and change that understanding, especially less than a year later, for something that is really self-created, shouldn't land at this body to address, Bradley Bledsoe Downs told the committee. He's got a point. It was definitely self-inflicted. Downs was referring to the long-running dispute between the Coyotes and the city of Glendale that led the city to refuse to extend its lease on the Gila River Arena. Republican Representative Leo Biascucci, who sponsored the last-minute amendment approved Tuesday, said the Coyotes plan to spend $40 million for improvements to Arizona State's new multi-purpose arena. Arizona State said when it announced the deal in February, the Coyotes would pay nearly $20 million up front for the improvements. Senator Sonny Borrelli, a Republican from Lake Havasu City, said the tribe's opposition was nothing more than an unnecessary turf war. He called the opposition ridiculous and said Arizona State would be the big winner. To see this opposition from the tribe is really upsetting because this does not negatively affect the tribe's one iota. None. Zero. Borrelli said. It's moving from one location to the other, and it's temporary. So, you've seen both sides. I will post this article on our Twitter page, and you can reach us there and let us know how you feel. You know, our commercial says we promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every show, but sometimes, like I said, it's self-inflicted. Can't help it. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. You're listening to The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' to NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' in NorCal sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on Reppin' NorCal Sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
Are you a Minnesota sports fan? If you are, you should join me, AJ, on my Thursday night podcast called Frozen Takes with AJ on IU Sports Radio. I talk about all things Minnesota sports, from the Vikings to Lynx basketball. Every week I talk about the good and the bad of sports in the land of the frozen lakes. Join me Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for your Minnesota sports show on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
From the shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we're back here on The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zach Puplis. Thanks again for joining us tonight. We have lots more hockey to get into. Let's buckle up and break it down. We said we would talk a little bit about the President's Cup. Well, yes, indeed. The Avalanche and the Panthers are in a tight race for the President's Trophy. So winning the President's Trophy is a great feat for a franchise. Over the course of 82, sometimes fewer, games, your team has accumulated the most points in the NHL. You get a trophy for it and home ice advantage for as long as you last in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And there's the rub. As this award has proven numerous times in its 35-season existence, regular season success does not mean smooth sailing towards a championship. Of the 35 President's Trophy winners, since the NHL began handing out this award in 85-86, only 8 have gone on to win the Cup. Holy crap! That's it? That's insane. The last team to succeed was the 2012-2013 Blackhawks. And only 2 teams have had the most regular season points and won the title later that spring since 2002. So basically, in the last 20 years, only 2 teams. Wow, that's insane. Only 2 teams have won the President's Trophy and then gone on to win the Cup. In recent years, the President's Trophy has become a second-round curse. Since 13-14, only the 14-15 Rangers advanced out of the first round. The 18-19 Lightning famously were swept in the first round, and 6 other winners were bounced in the second round, including the Avalanche last season. The 2018-19 Lightning were basically the Virginia Cavaliers of March Madness, losing to a 16 seed in the tournament, and then coming back the next year and winning the title. The Lightning got swept by the Blue Jackets, and then next year came back and won the title. And the one after that, too. Yeah. So it's no surprise that this season Colorado is in the hunt for its 4th President's Trophy. They lead the Panthers by 4 points. Well, now they're tied, just kidding. And both have less than 10 games to play. There's a decent cushion between those 2 NHL powerhouses and the teams behind them. The Hurricanes are... This is from like 6 days ago. Hurricanes have 104 points, and the Rangers and Maple Leafs stand with 102 points. Just outside the 100-point club are the Flames with 99, with 8 games remaining. Here's what the remaining schedules look like for the 2021-22 President's Trophy contenders. So this includes the Avalanche, the Panthers, the Hurricanes, the Rangers, and the Maple Leafs. Avalanche have, let's see, they're playing Kraken tonight. So here's who they have left. At Seattle, at Edmonton, at Winnipeg, home St. Louis, home versus St. Louis, and home versus Nashville, at Minnesota. They've played 76 games. The Panthers, they're going to be at the New York Islanders, then home versus Detroit, home versus Toronto, home versus Tampa Bay, at Boston, at Ottawa, at Montreal. So they've played, 75 games. The Hurricanes, they, if everything's on par, they have Winnipeg at home, then at New Jersey, at New York Islanders, at the Rangers, and home against New Jersey to end the season. They've played 75 games. Well, hang on. 77 games, really. Rangers, home versus Detroit, home versus Winnipeg, at the Islanders, at Boston, home versus Carolina, home versus Montreal, home versus Washington. So, wow, the majority of theirs is all... So you get 5 home and 2 away for the Rangers. They've played 77 games. And then the Maple Leafs at Ottawa, home versus the Islanders, home versus the Philadelphia Flyers, almost said Phillies, at Tampa Bay, at Florida, at Washington, home versus Detroit, home versus Boston. Sorry, some of those already taken place. So 76 games played probably for the Maple Leafs. So anyways, there doesn't appear to be enough runway for anyone to catch the Avalanche or Panthers in this race. Even with a few hiccups along the way, the points difference right now gives both teams the edge in claiming the number 1 overall playoff seed. Good luck trying to handicap the finish here. Both Colorado and Florida are on 8-game winning streaks, and the President's Trophy race may come down to the final few days of the regular season. As of 6 days ago, if the playoffs started today, This is sorted by points percentage. Atlantic Division would be Panthers versus Caps, Maple Leafs versus Lightning. Metro would be Hurricanes versus Bruins, Rangers and Penguins. Central would be Avalanche and Stars, Wild and Blues. And Pacific would be Flames and Preds, and Oilers and Kings. So, yeah. Like they said, pretty hard to handicap that with both of them on 8-game winning streaks. But should be very exciting. Let's see here. So earlier we mentioned that Calgary clinched their playoff spot. Well, they did so in amazing fashion. Let's see here. They scored 4 goals in a 2-minute and 33-second span when they were playing Arizona the other night. That is just insane, like video game numbers. Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk each had 2 goals and 2 assists on the Flames. And the Flames routed the Coyotes 9-1 on Saturday after they clinched a playoff spot before the game started. Edmonton locked Pacific Division leading Calgary into the postseason by beating Vegas 4-0 earlier in the day. The Flames, but they didn't want to back into it, especially with the Coyotes up next. So they clinched it themselves, even more so. The Flames, 46-20-9, and sitting atop the Pacific Division, became the 3rd Western Conference club to earn a playoff berth, following Colorado and St. Louis. Flames coach Daryl Sutter said, "It's really difficult to make the playoffs. Only half the teams in the league do it. We made the playoffs with 2 weeks left in the season." Dylan Dubé also scored twice, and Elias Lindholm had a goal and 3 assists. Andrew Mangiapane and Blake Coleman added goals, and Jacob Markstrom stopped 25 shots. Arizona led 1-0 in the first period on Nick Ritchie's first-minute goal, but the Flames broke it open with 4 goals in a 2-minute and 33-second span early in the second. Wow. Coyotes coach Andre Torini: "We had a good first period, then they had a push in the second where they scored 4 goals on 4 shots. We were out of it, and I think we had a tough time bouncing back after." Yeah, well, yeah, no joke when you lose 9-1. It was the second fastest 4-goal run in Flames franchise history, behind only a 1-minute and 21-second span on February 10th, 1993 against San Jose. Johnny Gaudreau was quoted as saying, "It was exciting not only for us, I think the fans are fired up, but we were fired up." At that point, it's only a 3-goal game, and we needed to keep pushing. Well, clearly they did not take their foot off the gas. Lindholm and Tkachuk each scored their 39th goals, and Gaudreau had its 36th. Calgary has 7 games remaining in their regular season, including 2 at home. "We still have a lot to play for," Tkachuk said. "We know we're in a position now where we're going to play a team that's going to have been playing well going into the playoffs to make it. Home ice is huge. We're playing for that and trying to play good hockey going into it." This was from just a couple days ago. Okay, more about the playoffs. We have the Playoff Watch standings update. The stakes for Dallas and Vegas today. There's a distinct lack of drama in regard to some of the NHL's playoff races this season. Like we said earlier, all 8 spots in the Eastern Conference have been clinched, and have seemingly been clinched for weeks. Colorado Avalanche are a country mile ahead of the rest of the West. St. Louis Blues and Minnesota Wild seem to be ensconced in a first-round matchup as the Central Division's number 2 and number 3 seeds. Luckily, I could do this job. See, I basically already went over all this stuff in our first segment. Luckily, we have the Western Conference wildcard race to follow for the next 10 nights. Heading into tonight's action, the Preds and the Stars hold the 2 wildcard spots with 93 and 91 points, respectively. The Golden Knights are in the hunt with 87, and the Canucks are as well, also with 87 points. It's a 4-game slate tonight. 2 of the matchups perhaps have more meaning to the draft lottery standings than anything else. Chicago, Arizona, like we said earlier, and the Seattle Kraken half of the Avalanche Kraken matchup. But the other 2 contests promise to yield some pivotal results. Stars and Oilers and Golden Knights and Caps. Stars won both previous games against the Oilers this season, 4-1 on November 23rd and 5-3 on March 22nd. And the pre-Jack Eichel Knights took down the Capitals 1-0 in their low meeting thus far this year. Will Wednesday's results reduce the Stars' lead, or will Vegas dig itself more of a hole? Current playoff matchups as of today would face, you got Florida facing the Caps, Maple Leafs and Lightning, Hurricanes and Bruins, Rangers and Penguins. Western Conference, again, if the playoffs started today, Avalanche and Stars, Wild and Blues, Flames and Preds, Oilers and Kings. There's just a little quick hit here. This one is for my fellow Red Wings fans out there. Dylan Larkin has a core muscle injury and surgery, and he's out 8 to 10 weeks. Ugh. We're already eliminated from the playoffs regardless, but still, this doesn't help. Red Wings center Dylan Larkin had core muscle surgery on Monday, ending his second season as the team's captain. Red Wings say his recovery is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks. The 25-year-old Larkin leads the Red Wings with 31 goals and 69 points in 71 games. Detroit has not earned a spot in the playoffs since 2016, when Larkin was a rookie and the team's run of 25 straight postseasons ended. Larkin, who's from Waterford, Michigan, and played for the Wolverines, has 358 career points over 7 seasons with the Red Wings. Detroit selected him number 15th overall in the 2014 draft, and he made his NHL debut a year later. Okay, quick score update. Stars and Oilers, it's now tied 2-2 in the second with 13 minutes to go. And the other ones have still not started. They don't start until 10. All right, quick break, and we were going to come back for our last segment of the night. You are listening to The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? This is Ben Matello, the host of the Yinza Report, right here on IE Sports Radio. I'm bringing you the latest in the Steel City, the City of Champions, from the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates, as well as the college game with both Penn State and Pitt. You could join me every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right here on IE Sports Radio, where I'll be talking about everything from the Steel City, the City of Champions, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Calling all Indiana sports fans, this is your podcast. Welcome to High Octane Entertainment on IE Sports Radio. Join me, Justin Lahr, as your host on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific to hear all the latest and greatest sports updates on everything from college to the pros in the great Hoosier state. No matter what, it's guaranteed to be high-octane entertainment. That's Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
And we're back on the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm Zach Poplis. Adam Karnick is off for the night. One last little segment, and we'll get on out of here for the night. Some news coming out of Seattle and the Pacific Northwest. Just 2 nights ago, the Seattle Kraken have added 2 minority investors. Some you might have heard of, some celebrities, in former Seahawks star Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode, and Seattle-born rapper Macklemore. Terms of the investment, which were announced Monday, were not disclosed. Forbes most recently valued the Kraken at an estimated $875 million. This is something I never would have imagined, Lynch, who played 7 of his 13 NFL seasons in Seattle, told CNBC in a statement. I always dreamed of playing on a professional team, but owning one is something special. As I look back on some of my accomplishments, I'm going to continue to count my blessings. Kraken CEO Todd Lewicki told CNBC that Lynch and Macklemore approached the team about becoming investors last summer. The NHL signed off on the deal earlier this month. For us, we didn't need any additional investors, Lewicki said, but the thing that attracted us to these guys was their interest in community activism through this organization. And that's a big deal. You can, for as much of his career that Marshawn Lynch spent in Seattle, and for as many times as you see the Space Needle and the number 12 flag in Macklemore's videos, that's an understatement. Lynch in particular will be a part of NHL's Hockey's for Everyone campaign, and Lewicki said Lynch has expressed an interest in shadowing him to see the ins and outs of a hockey CEO's operation. Quote, he's intrigued with the idea of what it's like to be an owner and the business side and the financing, Lewicki said. Macklemore, born Ben Haggerty, is a Grammy Award-winning artist who will add to the franchise's entertainment side. Quote, I'm a big hockey fan and have watched the team come to life and the fan base grow over the last 4 years, Macklemore said. In a statement, this investment was a natural one. Seattle will end its first expansion season without a playoff berth. Wah, wah. The Kraken's schedule wraps up May 1st. All right. Well, any articles you guys like, I will post on the Twitter page as soon as we're done here. One last little score update. It's now 3-2 Oilers over the Stars, and with 6 minutes 56 seconds left to go still in the second. So still lots of time left, but it's quite a competitive game. So like they were saying in the articles, that the Stars and Oilers game and the Capitals Golden Knights ones are going to have the most impact on the playoff race tonight. And we'll go from there. But thanks for listening in tonight. You've been listening to The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zach Puplis. Again, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at the Puplis, or you can find the show at IESR_Neutral Zone, I believe. But yeah, we'll post all the articles, and I'll link them on my page too. So thanks again for listening. We want to thank Larry and Taryn and Adam, and hope he's doing well tonight. And yeah, we'll shout at you again next week. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.